All right, we are live, and yes, let me apologize. We're a few minutes late. It was my fault. I don't have internet in the UK. They did not give me internet that is good. So yes, people should in the comment section tell them, yes, I didn't have good internet. That's why I'm here. It's going to and it's fluctuating a bit. So sorry about that. I really do apologize. Of course, that is not in my habit to be late. I am so sorry. It was technical issue. Today we have the amazing Dr. Joy Emmanuel. So of course, I finally met Dr. Joy Emmanuel
Can't
after
believe
how
it.
many years?
I know.
So amazing. And thank you so much for being here. And for the record, it's now 7 o'clock UK time. All right.
Yes,
So thank you for coming here at this time.
my
Thank you so
pleasure.
much, everybody, for being here. I can see Nkonye, I can see Orokoya Tolu Lope, I can see Lady Diana, and then shout out to UK committee members. Joy is part of them. It was a
Hey.
huge success over the
Yeah.
weekend, and we had the most amazing summit. And
Yes,
I still
so
met a father, and the father was do you know what? I've never sat in a conference in my life like that all through. And I was just listening. You guys must be very powerful. And really, it was really, really, really nice. So, yeah, you have Dr. Joy in the building. Dr. Joy is going to be sharing with us on her journey. So, of course, you already know that Dr. Joy is streaming live from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for being here. Coach Molola said UK people I never released coach. They have not, though. They are still holding me hostage.
yes, so
Alrighty. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you much for joining us this morning. And you're listening to my intentional parenting journey over the last 1 month plus, almost 2 months. We've had one guest or another sharing with us on what they've done and what their life have been. It's so amazing. Oh, by the way, I saw Chidudokolo, I saw Cordelia, and they both shared their live testimony. So now we're now watching them live, not on the screen. And it was so amazing. Thank you for joining us this morning again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always following. So tell somebody to tell somebody that you need to be here and you need to be live. So share the link with a friend, with a family, and share it in your cohort. So I know that Joy has shared her journey, the link yesterday in her cohort, and I hope that everybody is here. Shout out to all of you again, the UK others. I see you guys. All right. So, Dr. Joy, um, Dr. Joy, I've been in the inner circle for what is your third year? Am I correct, Dr. Joy?
yes, since 2021 December. Yes, my third year.
Great. So, Dr. Joy, I've been in, yeah, yeah. This has been her third year in the inner circle, and she's been here. And every time one of the questions that I ask, so people have been in the inner circle for years. Yesterday I saw Onome. Onome has been in the inner circle for 4 years. She's one of the people that joined inner circle when inner circle started. In fact, Onome and Turan, I call them 001 of UK others, right?
Wow.
And and they've been here. So we have quite a number of people who have, journeyed through with us all through. I want to hear, how did you get into the inner circle? What has made you stay? Over to you, Dr. Joy.
Thank you very much, Coach. I'm so grateful to be here. I do not take this opportunity for granted. I was going to say thank you to Governor. Um, I had to keep reminding myself that I met you guys for the first time over the weekend. Because in my head, I've been, because we've been in communication, you guys have always been there for us. It's like we've been in your house, and you guys have been in my home. It's amazing to finally meet you guys in person. It felt different in a good way. Thank you, Coach Kunle and Coach Wendy and everyone in the team that has helped us to stay focused and stay on our lane. It's been a journey, and I appreciate it. I'm going to try and keep. I didn't realize I had so much to talk because I kept collating my journey together, and I realized it's over 3 pages of my thoughts on paper. So coach always say, take time to put your thoughts down, and you don't know how much you have inside until you start journaling. So how did I get to the inner circle? It was a season in my life where parenting was getting very challenging, and my little boy was not so little anymore. He was 4 going to 5 as at then, and I was the energy was just everywhere, and I was like, this is not. It's meant as they grow, things are meant to get better. Why is this energy just everywhere, and my own energy too? I'm kind of trying to match up. There's this power tussle and everything, and my daughter was in line, and I found out that they were always bouncing off each other, and I would be telling David, his name is David, he's 8 years old now, so I joined when he was almost like, and he'll be like, "Don't you know you're older? You should know better," and stuff like that. And in my head, that was the right thing to do, telling the older one to look after the younger one, but it wasn't happening. I started getting frustrated, started getting um not in tune with myself, started seeking knowledge from different parenting platforms until one day I was scrolling past my WhatsApp status and I saw a friend's post on the intentional parenting. So I think it was the conference, the parenting conference, and I saw it on her status. I was like, wow, the parenting academy. I clicked on it and I joined. I'm gonna say shout out to Susan Ini Twain. I want to say thank you. It's not because of her. I wouldn't have known about them. I would have continued struggling. I probably would have found it later on, but thank God I found it. I entered the conference, and it was like back to back knowledge, revelation, wisdom, and it was there. They addressed the fact that if you don't have knowledge, you're going to struggle. You're going to repeat patterns. You're going to repeat circles. And I knew I didn't want to repeat circles. Didn't want to repeat patterns. And at this time, my son was already hitting my daughter that was just 2.5 or so. And I knew he learned it from somewhere, obviously. I needed to work on that. Thankfully, when we joined the inner circle, after the conference, I registered to join the inner circle. Before the cohort started, I started reading coaches' materials, following back to back on Facebook, YouTube Live, everything. Because when you know about TIP, you want to join that day. Like, I want to come in, but they tell you have to wait till 1st of December. So from July to 1st of December, it was like 5 years. So like I couldn't wait to get in. Thankfully, I got in, and the first Christmas, 2021 Christmas, was like the best Christmas ever. It's been an amazing journey because in the course of the journey, my daughter was diagnosed with autism, and I felt, oh, I don't think inner circle is for me. Like I probably should go and look for groups that would support um, families with children with autism. And then towards the end of 2021 cohort. Shout out to Nonso. Nonso shared her journey and how she has made progress with her son with autism. And I was like, so there are people here that are going through similar journeys. I was like, okay, I'm believing God for breakthrough. I'm believing God for progress. I still need to keep learning so that I can manage both children, because there's a difference between when a child has is being managed for additional needs, and when a child is just being an age appropriate human being, and they're having age appropriate behaviors and all that. So with the knowledge we're getting in TIP, coach will tell you, take what is yours, apply it to your family the way you depending on your family dynamics. So that really helped. So there was nothing like you must do it the way I say it. When she tells you, an inner parent is a thinking parent, we need to raise thinking children. She's raising us to be thinkers. So think of what I'm saying, apply it the way it applies to your family. And she keeps telling us it's not everything I say that you're going to do word for word. You're going to look at your environment, you're going to look at your family, you're going to look at your child, understand how they learn. Don't come and say, it's time for twos. Come, everybody sit down, let's do twos. No, if your children are teenagers, you're going to apply it differently. If your children are toddlers, you're going to apply it differently. If your children are babies or they're non-speaking, you're going to read stories that pertain to that topic she's put for the day to get them to learn something. Anyway, the child must learn. So being in the inner circle, as one of the reasons or some of the reasons I've stayed is because of the flexibility of the program. Nobody is holding you bound by laws. You yourself, you hold yourself accountable. When I entered the inner circle, I hear people say, "Oh, they saw coach in their dream." And I'm like, how can they see coach in their dream? Until one day, I did not just see Coach Wendy in my dream. I saw Coach Kunle and Coach Wendy in my dream. They came in a bus to my
Uh-uh.
house. I am telling you, Coach. They came and I was chastising David. And coach was like, no, that's not how to do it. She called David and she demonstrated what I should do. When I woke up that day, I said, this thing is working. Like it may sound weird, but she tells you that you will hear my voice. You will see me in your houses, and things like that. But she's not saying it to spite us, she's just saying it to encourage us that it is it is more than just being in a class. It's more than just it's not a WhatsApp group. It's a family of people that are reliable, holding us accountable to not just the words we're hearing, but the actions we're taking with the words we're hearing. It makes a difference. And it has really made a difference in my life, how my children are progressing, because my son is being managed for type 1 diabetes. When he's in the mood, can see him hiding there. Baby, come. That's my coach I've been telling you about. So we've held ourselves so accountable. I gotta make you. Thank you. Shut the door, please. Thank you. So we've held ourselves accountable so much that David will David will say, I'm gonna tell your coach when I do things that I shouldn't do or that he doesn't approve of. So I'm gonna tell your coach, you know. Sometimes he'll be like, okay, mommy, you've had enough time on your screen today. Your 15 minutes is over, things like that. These are things because we have a media plan, we've been helped to put these things into a system that would work for our families. I'm just gonna go on and on. If I don't know if there's any other question you want to ask me. It's been
Wow, 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 wow. Amazing, amazing. Sorry about my network. I was back and forth. I am now using my Nigerian NTM network for the record so that people will put it down that yes, it's the same my Nigerian network I'm using here. So please don't give me that you would have a better network in the UK. Please let me have you guys small. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Joy. Thank you so
my
much
pleasure.
for joining us. And thank you. Did you hear Dr. Joy? She said, I thought that, this place wasn't for
Sorry,
me.
one
Like,
second.
okay, that's fine, ma'am. I thought that this place wasn't for me. This thing that they are saying. Um, uh, um, are you sure if I have a child who is autistic, I'm going to get the tools that will help me? Are you sure? Until she had someone, just like she's sharing now today, who came and said, see, this is what has happened for my children. In fact, there was a particular family whose child was diagnosed with autism. And then, they came to me and said, Inateco, how will it help? What would they do? And all of that. We've been doing therapy, we've been doing all some behavioral issues, blah, blah, blah. I said, just stay in the inner circle and do the tools. And she was like, just like that. I said, yeah, pass like that too. And she was like, she was staying in Sweden at the time. And she was like, her sister-in-law had told her about the inner circle. And then, of course, she eventually got him. She started the tools and she said, my son that they said couldn't read, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. I can see him doing all those things. As in, it's better than even the therapy we've done, for so many years, sitting down every day in front of, And one of the things that I remember that I said to her was, take away the screen completely. You don't need it. And she was like, eh. But he told us that he needs to do this in the screen. I said, forget it. Trust me on this one. 1 year later, she said she was in shock. She actually literally had to withdraw her children from the schools over there, and then begin to homeschool them because she felt that they just didn't understand what it is that could offer. So the first thing when it comes to, I like how Dr. Joy said it. The inner circle is not a WhatsApp group. I'm sure that we onboarded A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And I'm sure somebody is just wondering, is it not just where they'll just pack people? I don't want to be talking all those WhatsApp group. Oh, they will now state this one. No. If you have ever seen a structured system in your life, you haven't seen inner circle. That's one thing I can attest to. And I'm sure that every single Yada can say that to you. Every single Yada that can say that to you, right? So it is important that you begin to actually come into the system as a system. Get ready. Now school they go. One of the inner circle fathers, I think that was Mr. Sadebi, said, this one is university. It is school you're coming to. It's not play. It is oh, it's not play. It's not play that we have come to play. It's not just, let us all be on WhatsApp group and just talk. No, that's not what we're there for. We're there for serious business. We're there to actually solve problems and we're there to become. So if you're coming with the mindset of, somebody said to me one time, many years ago, that why are they telling them to pay 100,000 naira for a WhatsApp group? I was like, wow, that must be a thing. So the WhatsApp community is just a community for us to be able to, have a community, right? So it is where the community, happens, okay? And it's just a part of the system. So yes, um, and it's very, very, very important. I can see Atinuke trying to explain whatever away. Please rest in Jesus' name. You did not give me network. I am trying your network away because stick it, man. Just oh, that's why. And yes, and it is very important that you have that at the back of your mind. So whether your child is autistic, is neurotypical, it's whatever it is, trust me, the things that you will find in the inner circle is going to change your process. I'm very excited that Dr. Joy is sharing today. And maybe that will also help another parent, just like she had another parent, right? And then you are able to also pick it up from there. Thank you again and again and again and again. All right. And then she also said something. She said, oh, when she entered, people used to say that they saw coach in their dream. Yeah, you will see me in your dream. And you will shall see me somehow. You will see me, and I'm gonna be in your head. I'm gonna be in your dream. And people actually say to me, "How will you keep that number of people accountable on your own? Your accountability will at some point. You will wake up one day and you will hear something. People cry on their own after a webinar. I don't come to their house. You just sit down on your own in your self-reflection, and you will say, "Hey, oh Lord, what happened?" And then you will move from there. That's the beauty. That's the beauty about the inner circle. Welcome again, Dr. Joy. So, Dr. Joy, share with us, how have the inner circle changed your life? Now, let's talk about your career, your children, your family, your marriage, whichever way you want to take it from, that you want to actually give us insight from. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Coach. It's it's a whole lot. The inner circle has changed my life in amazing ways. That's how I would put it. One of the
Mm,
things that it helped me to realize was the fact that I was doing a lot on my own. I wasn't in the right support systems. I was struggling
mm,
and didn't know how to reach out for help. And there's something coach always says that you need to give yourself the permission to be yourself. Give yourself permission to be you. You cannot be a people pleaser and become great in life. It's okay to say no sometimes. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to want to
mm,
do everything I need to do, and I just felt nobody could help us because we came into this country as immigrants, and
mm,
then there were a lot of things that are not accessible to immigrants. So I wasn't really asking for help because I felt, oh, it's going to affect our visas and stuff like that. Now, to the glory of God,
mm,
we're students. But before we got here, it was a long journey. When I joined the inner circle, I realized that I was draining. I realized that I swept the diagnosis of my son and my daughter under the carpet and I didn't breathe properly. My son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 9 months old. I don't know if you know any parents with type 1 diabetes, um, sibling or a child, or it's another world. So imagine starting parenting and thinking that, oh, it's going to be all rosy, and then the diagnosis hit. And because you're working to stay in the country, there was no time to grieve the process. There was no time to
mm,
ask for support was in place for immigrants. And it was awfully stressful. And then my daughter came in, and then COVID hit. Joining the inner circle helped me to realize that I swept the diagnosis under the carpet and I needed to bring it out and I needed to breathe. I would go to appointments and I would be crying. And the consultants would say, oh, have you reached out to parent support groups? I'm like, I'm okay, I'm okay. They say you're okay. I didn't know I was not okay because where would I
mm,
help? Well, when we did trauma course, healing from childhood trauma, and a lot of things were said about what trauma is and how it should be handled. I gave myself the permission to breathe the process. It's not because I don't
mm,
believe in the healing power of Jesus Christ. I do, but even Jesus Christ wept. How much more we are still coming up. We are his followers. I had to learn to let go of strong emotions and also let my children know that they can let out their emotions. So I have to model ex- expressing our feelings and things like that. David is here again. David, the Chibuka is watching you. You don't go inside. Yeah, the Chibuka is watching. All right, shut the door, please. Thank you. So we met Coach Chibuka on this platform, and now I have somebody that he reverence and honors. 1 second.
Okay, so while Dr. Joy is coming and trying to sort out that space, okay, she's
So
back.
yeah,
Right, please
thank
go.
you. Okay, so I was saying that the process was tough. So I reached out to so before I say how when I reached out, the process of the emotional healing began when I attended the course and when I started listening to webinars, and I brought out the trauma from under the carpet and I had to face it head on. I started reaching out to people that are my tribe. When I say my tribe, people that are going through similar journeys. I started making changes in how much hours I work. I started making out times for weekend weekend play with my children. I had to reduce weekend work so that I can meet up with the amount of interaction they needed. I learned also about separation anxiety. You know, in Nigeria, they tell you when the child finish crying, they will sleep. We didn't know we're traumatizing our children. You know, I had to unlearn that narrative and give them comfort when they need to be comforted. I had to unlearn a lot of things about discipline. Discipline was not what we thought it was. When we got in that sector, we had to learn to remove things that were in the parenting toolbox and replace it with the right ones. So, say for instance, growing up, you have to finish the food you're eating from your plate. If not, you see it as wastage. But coming to the inner circle, we're told that you don't have to force a child to eat. If they're full, they are full. You need to listen to their natural instinct to say they are full instead of forcing it down their mouth or insisting that if they don't eat it, they'll get consequences. Some people go as far as beating their children when they don't eat. That's extreme, but I went through that partially when I was growing up. You know, I still I still remember one day we're all having breakfast or something, and I don't know what I did. I think I must have maybe like 3, 4 years old then. I'm like, one of my older brothers gave me a slap at the back of my head, and till today I still remember. Like, how can I be eating and get that kind of punishment? You know, as a child, there are some traumas we went through that we will never forget. So being in the inner circle is helping me to help build a childhood for my children that they would have a parenting advantage. That because I
Mm.
was raised by this woman, I was raised by this mom, I have an advantage in a lot of ways. So one of the things that I did was I had to change my place of work. So be in a place where I can be where they can accommodate the hours I needed to work so I can be with my children still on the visa. And another thing I also did was I reached out to a friend who has a child with additional needs, and she referred me to a parent support group. Meanwhile, all this while I thought I could do it on my own, right? So I joined the parent support group and I started hearing people's success stories. I started hearing the things that adjustment that I could make to support my children. I started seeing professionals come to talk about laws that favor immigrants with children with additional needs. Now, like, how come I'm just hearing this? Because I was not in the right systems. I was
Mm.
not in the right environment where I could be supported correctly just because I felt I don't have time to be in those WhatsApp group. You know, they call it WhatsApp group. But it doesn't matter whether it's a WhatsApp group. If it's a system that supports your growth and your process, my dear, go for it. And I tell myself there's some places I will have to go to make the sacrifices now just to support my children, not because I want to necessarily want to be there. Say for instance, the group for parents of my children's classes. I don't necessarily have to be there, but because I'm raising a champion, I'm raising a king, I have to be in the midst of the people where where support is being given for my kids. You know, I say I'm not here. I remember my focus. I said, being in inner circle is like being on the motorway. There are many lanes. If you stay on the outer lane and you stay on the inner lane, you're still going in the right direction. Just make sure you're following the instruction. Once you start missing the instruction, motorway driving will be horrible. Yeah, I experienced it. I used to be very scared of driving. For almost 5 years, I did not enter the motorway after passing my test. I'm not kidding. But when I joined the inner circle, I saw possibilities. I started driving myself, I started pushing myself. I started following instructions. Coach will say you fly by instructions. You cannot afford to snooze when you're on the motorway. You cannot afford to snooze when you're moving with the system that has been set up here. So I was saying something about motorway. In the motorway driving, people that stay in the middle, they have more options. So if you're there, you're in the middle. You see people going on fast lane. That people are getting so many results. You see people going on the slow lane. People that are just there. There are some people on the shoulder. The shoulder is where nobody is moving. The car is just stagnant. There are some people like in the inner circle. That's how it is. You choose where you want to be. You have a choice. Yeah. So I choose to be moving. And there was one of the parents that said, even if it's slowly, slowly but surely, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. If you decide you don't want to go to motorway, it will only take you longer to get to your destination.
Yep.
I'm speaking of the UK. I'm sure it's the same with most other countries. So like the highways, called highway in Nigeria. Here, being on the motorway helps you get to your destination faster. Following the instructions help you to stay on course. If not, you can just find yourself going to another country. I experienced it like so. Being in the inner circle has helped me to readjust my mindset about systems, about structures, about empathy, about self awareness, about setting goals. I'm going to say something about setting goals that we learn. What's one of the first things we learned in the inner circle? I've always wanted to travel out of the country, out of the UK. Always wanted, but before we got married, I love traveling. I would go to different countries, African countries. But when we got married, I realized that it was just all about parenting, work, and church, and I wasn't really my dreams like was were kept on hold. I wasn't really doing what I love to do. So we wrote our dream. We did our vision boards. I my We had vision boards for the children, vision boards for myself. And one of the things I put on my vision board was that I was going to travel out of the country with my family for the first time. We're going to have one international trip, and we kept working towards it. It did. We didn't go for an international trip as a family, but we went for a staycation, a local trip, and to me that was progress. The other one was that I was able to go for an international trip through my friend. That the opportunity just came, and we leveraged on it. So for the first time in like 10 years of being married, I was able to go for an international trip. And for me, it wasn't just a trip. It was a I met the others in that trip, or coach. I met the others on that trip, and it was more of a retreat. The people that we went together, it was more of a retreat. They were like-minded people, future-oriented, goal-oriented. We rubbed off on each other. It was mind-blowing. So being in inner circle has helped me expand my thinking, expand my knowledge base, and seek knowledge to be applied. It has also helped me to reduce my reaction time. When they say nobody died, indeed, nobody really died. Before, when something happens, you want to talk about it there. I want to talk about it there and then, let's just trash this thing. But being in the inner side, being in an accountability system has helped me to know that if it's not an emergency, it can wait. Even if we wait, nobody will die, you know. And it's been a lot. Okay, another thing that also helped me, because when our children started growing up, we started noticing that we could not just leave them with a neighbor. We could not just leave them with a friend. Like we want to just go out for 2 hours or an overnight stay, or we can just say, okay, go and spend weekends with this family. We all love each other. We all go to same church and stuff like that. It was one of the biggest disappointments as a parent with children with additional
Mm.
needs. Know that we can't just leave them with just anybody. They have to be willing to be trained to support them in the way they need to be supported. So imagine that kind of trauma, that kind of thinking. It was a big disappointment. But what will I do with that? I started looking out for the systems in place that can support us. I started reaching out to people who were willing to be trained to support our children. Some people want to be trained to do it, but they're not available. And it's a genuine inavailability because in the UK, there are
Mm.
lots of the pressures of life, of work, it's just enormous. So I don't judge them anymore. I don't judge them because they also have their own life, they also have their own struggle. They also possibly need childcare themselves. So I've been able to leverage on the systems, look for paid care and look for the care that the system can offer. Looking out for what's available in my environment, what's available to me, what's available to my children. One of the things we did was look for clubs that accommodate them and get the trainers to be trained or the volunteers to be trained. So the first time my son was offered a place in Scout, I went as the parent volunteer. So everywhere they went, I would go. I would be his carer. I'll be the parent volunteer for him and other children. At some point, the volunteers took over the responsibility. Now he can go on overnight stays. He can go on day trips with them. He does. I don't need to go with him anymore because God has used the leadership of that group to help my son. So imagine if I say, "Oh, nobody can do it," he will be missing out. I'll be more stressed. It will just be everywhere. And that did not stop there. Because I saw that possibility, helped me dream further. When Coach Ebuka advertised the boys' camp, the first time we couldn't go because he was not yet up to the age. The second time they were advertising it, I said, "Yes, my son is he's going to be in this one. He's not up to the age." And I reached out to Coach Ebuka. I was like, "This is the situation. My son needs medical support when he's in camp, and he's almost 8. It's gonna be 8 the month of the camp." And Coach Ebuka was like, "Okay." Well, he gave me so much hope, and I was like, to be honest, when I was reaching out to him, I felt he was gonna say, "Oh no, we don't have somebody to help." And the way he just said, "Oh, that's not a problem." I was so shocked. Because of that, I said, "I want to be a volunteer." So I volunteered to be the safeguarding lead for the camp this year. I didn't know how much work was going to go. I thought it was just going to be okay, just be there. When the work started coming out, I'm like, Coach Ebuka, this is what people have been doing. I was like, it was Coach Ebuka, Coach Ruth. I'm like, this is not human, It was tough, but they do these things with smiles on their faces. Sometimes I'll go to the back and say, "Coach, what did that person just say?" Coach will be like, "Don't worry, don't." I'll be vexing on their behalf. I didn't so be working with Coach Ebuka and Coach will help me to be more humble. We went to camp. My son just he just got lost in camp. He one of his first friends was a Yada's son, and they did not know we knew each other. I had to I had to tell my friend, like, see these two people, where do they know each other from? So later they found out that both of their parents were friends. When coach would say, Yada's children will find themselves out, I experienced it live. They found themselves, they stopped each other. It was amazing. During camp, I will even be looking for him because of the independence we have built over the years. I'll be looking for him. Coach Ebuka and Coach Rude will be looking for him in camp because the confidence had grown. He has when we got home, even before we got home, he was able to learn how Nigerians speak English. So sometimes he would say things like chai, chai, oh, mommy. He will be speaking, he will be speaking Nigerian English. I know if you understand what I mean. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, okay, just use the fingertip. Yeah, thank you. Shut the door, please. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. And I was surprised and I was happy at the same time because now he's seen other boys of his age group. He's seen senior boys. He's seen Coach Ebuka live, not just on screen anymore. Going to camp this year was transformational. Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth are the significant others' voices that apart from Coach that's happening in our home, that's in existence in our home. Coach speaks to us, but she has also brought people who can speak to the heart of our children. So it's been really transformational. It's been a system of accountability, not just for me, but for our children. And I would say joining the TIP also helped me see how much play can impact my life and my family's life. You know, that rigidity of, ah, I'm an adult now, let me behave myself. When you join the inner circle, you will put that cloth down, you will play, you will play. Grandparents come here and they become like children again. I gave myself the permission to be a child again. When my children go on the slides, I go on the slides too. When they go on the trampoline, I go on the trampoline. When we go to the park, I climb, they climb. Going to the park, I aside discovering the kind of skills children can learn when they go to the park. They learn socialization. They talk to people they have never met before. When we go on well-being walks, my daughter would stop to see the flowers. She'll stop to see the snails. She'll stop to say hello to dogs. And I used to be really scared of dogs. Well, my children made me to be bold. Why would I be scared of dogs? Trauma from my childhood, you know. But now, I touch the dog, I say hello. So I teach them how to approach a dog owner. So you don't just go to the dog and start touching the dog. You have to say hello to the dog owners. The dog owner will tell you if the dog is friendly or if the dog is not friendly. The dog owner will tell you the parts of the body, the dog's body that you shouldn't dare to touch. The dog owner will tell you how the dog is very anxious, so please don't come close. You know, my children learned how to be stranger friendly, stranger conscious, and still be comfortable in their skin. They know when coach say there's nothing like stranger danger. When the child is in trouble, it's not stranger that will help the child. So all those ideologies, we had to unlearn it. All those normalized nonsense, we had to put it down. I had to. I had to put them down. I'm still learning. I'm not there yet. But the little I've learned, I don't think I'm implementing up to 20%, to be honest. But some people may think otherwise. But I'm not doing as much as I should be doing. But God is helping me to get these results. Last year, one of the things I put on my daughter's vision board was that she will be potty trained. It's very difficult to potty train a child with autism. To the glory of God, it happened last summer. This year, we focused on reading. By the end of the summer holiday this year, she was already reading. We focused on art therapy, we focused on painting, puzzle. I was going to say, coach will say, you don't need a lesson teacher when you come to the inner circle. Not in a spiteful way, but in the fact that when you play, when you engage the children with playing, the centers in their brain for learning will be multiplied. So they'll have more room to learn. It sounded like Bobo, but when I applied it, it worked. Last time I talked about getting a writing teacher for my son. 6 months, his writing improved. So we went back to our play and everything, because I noticed that the time we were using to play was now the time for his writing lesson, and he didn't really like it. My son is a kinesthetic learner. That's one of the things we would learn, understanding how your child learns. So I took that out. We went back to playing table tennis in our living room, play building Lego, doing all sorts, and he improved. At some point I thought, okay, we need to start preparing for 11 plus, and I enrolled him in a in an online lesson to start preparing for 11 plus. My son was most miserable. More learning does not help your child learn more. More learning does not open the brain centers of your child. You need more playing. So me,
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that experiments, because coach said look at the environment and do what is applicable for your child. So I tried that and it didn't work. August, we stopped it. So the money we used for the lesson, we invested it in Lego Club. Coach, you need to see a transformation. We go to Lego Club.
Correct.
Now, the writing that we're struggling with, he has now improved in that writing, because they use fine motor skills to do Lego. They use creativity and everything. That's writing. Now, they've given him what they call blue pen license in his class. So he has been awarded because his writing has improved. It's been amazing. His creative thinking has improved. His analytical thinking has improved. Because in the Lego club, every child comes together with their creativity and they talk about it. That's public speaking. That's public speaking skills. So they get to choose what they want to build every day, and they take turns to choose from a general box if what they need is not in the pack they have chosen. So a lot is being learned. A lot has changed. It's been an amazing journey, to be honest. And in the inner circle, we learned a lot about maximizing the resources that are available to us. You will It's possible to be overwhelmed when you come to the inner circle. So you need to have you're trained to have filters. Take what is yours and run with it. Forget my neighbor is there's nothing like better past my neighbor, or my neighbor is better past me. Pardon my French. Yes. You will face your lane. You know how you hug your lane on motorway? Motorway, they say stay in lane. When you don't stay in lane, things can go wrong. You hug your lane, hug your steering, keep your eye, you shine your eyes. It doesn't matter what the next guy in the
Mm.
next lane is doing. You just stay on your lane. That was one thing that helped me in
Mm.
the inner. Coach say face your front, stay on your lane. Don't be moved. Don't worry about who is getting result and who's not getting result. Just be doing what you need to do. Stay focused. If the child needs probiotics, if the child needs antibiotics, if the needs vitamins, look for the right ones they need. Some these things, some of the learning that is not taking place because of vitamin deficiency. How much check have we done? Some of us have picky eaters as children. Have we taken time to check if they have the right amount of nutrients? If they can't get it from the food, how else can they get it? Things like that. They're little but impactful. There's something she will say in the voice note, and you run with it, and you be like, oh, why didn't I ever think of this? Because it's from heaven. Well, I'm going to say being in inner circle has been a life changer. I've met people that I probably would never have met being here. I met my son's book club reader, and Osato. I shout out to you. I met my children's Bible club reader here. I've met amazing people that are willing to push me forward, that are willing to motivate me to move forward in different areas of accountability. So in the inner circle, we follow coach. Coach will tell you that when I need information for this and this, I know who to go to. When I need information for this and this, I know who to go to. She's not an I know it all coach. She's someone that is learning and evolving. So because you're under that system, you just find yourself learning and evolving. If you know someone that has the knowledge, seek it. If you need to pay for it, pay for it. If you can get it the way anyhow you shall need to get it and run with it. And that's what I've had to do. Being in inner circle, I've seen people that can help me with personal building, with work life information, different things that have helped me to become who I am today, and I'm still becoming. And we become who we behold. Who are we beholding? Who are we looking at? Who are we following? These things matter. And another thing I was going to say, the inner circle has affected my marriage in a lot of ways. I remember when the diagnosis hit us, one of the things they kept saying was that, oh, the statistics of marriages with children with additional needs, um, it's the statistics of broken marriages with children with additional needs is very high. And I told God, I said, I don't want to be among the statistics. God is going to send help. And did God send help? Yes, God sent help. God sent help in different ways. My church body where I attend here, they've been very helpful. The friends I had to surround myself with friends of like minds. I had to surround myself with people who have additional needs, people who have children with additional needs, and they're still married. And I'm like going to them to learn from them. How are you doing it? How are you navigating this journey? And to be honest, it's been a life changer, because if I surround myself with people who don't believe in the possibility of it working, there's a possibility I'll start thinking that my marriage will not work. It's going to be among the ones that will break. But our thoughts is part of what forms us. So I give God the glory for being in the conclave. Master Conclave, I shout out to you, sir. Being in the conclave has helped me to navigate my journey. My husband is not in the conclave, but what I'm learning in conclave, I'm applying it to make things better. The good thing we learn here is work on yourself first. That's the message. The- When you point one finger, four
Mm.
fingers pointing back at us, right? So it's easy to say the other
Yes.
person
Yeah.
is the problem, while we
Mhm.
looking at how we can make things better, how we can work on ourselves. So to the glory of God, being in that circle has helped me to self-reflect. And when you self-reflect, is the advice you give yourself that is the more effective one. So it's been amazing, and I give God praise because I wouldn't be where I am today if I was not in the right systems. I'm not in the right um, environment, listening to the right people. I have a friend that when the chips are down, I'll be like, I have somebody I can talk to and just pour out my heart, and it's healing, it's therapeutic. Coach said this morning in the voice note, ask for help. It's not a sin. It's not a sin to ask for help. Let's
Yeah.
feel be okay to ask for help. After all,
Hmm.
people ask me for help. Why people ask me for help and I help? So why can't I ask for help? So now I'm very generous with. If you say, "Oh, let me know if you need anything," I say, "I need. I always need help. I always need help. Help me." So I'm very generous with giving out my help list. I'm not as stressed as I used to be because help has come. Help has come, and
Hmm.
I'm maximizing the help really well. Thank you, coach.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Who else? Of course, when you see a yarder who has been in the yard for years, it's very easy to pick. They are like, I think they teach us. This kind. You're listening to them, you're like, wow, what did I just hear? Wow, they are able to actually run. When you see people who run with the instructions, you hear it. And I usually say something to yarders. Anything I say to you, try it. Try it on your own. Don't take it. Don't take my word for it. So go back and say, you see this thing. Let me even see this woman, this thing she has said. Let me see if it works. And anytime I say, oh, you don't need a lesson teacher to actually, raise a bad kuro and all of that. And like Dr. Joy said, not in a spiteful way. Of course, if you offer lessons and there are people around you that you offer lessons to, that's fine. But you are here in a system, and I'm telling you what the truth is. Ayada was seated here with me yesterday night, and I said to her, I said, I don't know how to lie. That's why many people actually the first thing it hits you in a bad way because I don't really know how to tell you things that won't work. And I said, Ma, are you ready to actually take this? Because my response to you is going to be hard. She looked at me and she said, Coach, I can take it. So when I gave her the response, she was like, I knew I come to that. And I'm glad that I met you. So I'm going to actually try. So so sometimes, you want to actually first thing, I think Dr. Joy already said that the first thing you want to do is a mindset shift. And she said it herself. I had a lesson teacher started doing online. My son was the most frustrated. But after that, I said, okay, I think this thing is not working. It's true. Let me go back and go and do Lego classes. It's interesting. One of the very major clubs that our children, our son especially, joined when he was in school was Lego club. In fact, he used to do Lego robotics and all of that. And trust me, it's one tool that can actually change the life of your children. All right. And Dr. Joyce said something that was very instructive. I'm not here with anybody. I know my own journey. I know how my journey is. I know how tough it can be. Me, I will choose my heart. So she have decided for this, my daughter, every year, I will choose one thing that we're going to work on. See, when you're everywhere, I want to work, hey, you're just everywhere, you are actually going to be nowhere. It was Sandra during my intentional parenting journey who said, I just outlined the goals I want to reach. And it is now here. I've reached all the goals I outlined. All. So don't do 1 million goals. And I'm sure I'm saying this to incoming yarders. You have 1,000,001 goals that you're supposed to, put in, and yet none of them is really, doing anything. Okay. So don't be that person that want to be everywhere and yet you are nowhere. One thing that the inner circle teach is to focus on your focus. Choose your heart.
Mm.
You are the one that knows where your is coming from. Choose it. I remember one of the one of the webinars where I was teaching, and I said, you see, people's children are writing books, they are selling, they are doing all sorts of things. I've never woken up to say, hey, this person have written book. They are 10. My children need to write book. That's not our, it's not our lane. I've said that severally. It's not our lane. I'm not under any pressure to prove that my children have arrived. Of course, you guys know that. That's one beautiful thing that you get in the inner circle. So yes, we're all on our lane, and we're seriously on our lane. This
True.
I better pass my neighbor mentality. As they are coming, drop it somewhere. There is no I better pass my neighbor here, right? And Dr. Joy said something about play. It's when you get into the inner circle, you understand that it's all these, I want to walk and die. I want to, all this tiffling. You find out that you're not really living. You know, somebody said to me yesterday when we were on Saturday when we were at the UK summit. I said, coach, you can play. I said, imagine working this hard and I cannot play. What is that? I said, I need to play. At the end of the summit, we got piano, we played, we sang, we jumped, we screamed. And finally, she mentioned about seeking help. Hmm. You see, this help matter. It's an upbringing that was given to us that made the mess of our head, where we were told that you shouldn't ask for help. If you know me, one thing, somebody was asking me that, hey, can I just come to somewhere, I'll do it alone and all that. I said, no, ma. I said, the stage where I am in my life, I get help for everything, including my itinerary. I can't do it on my own. And I've gotten to that point where I know that I need help for everything. Everything. Just think about it. You offer me help, I collect it with 2 hands. I always need help. Please offer me, bring it. I don't mind help. And this is so key. And Dr. Joy also shared how her son has been able to, get into the camp. And she said something. My son, has type 1 diabetes, and that can actually be really hard. I'm sure if you understand that aspect of, medical diagnosis, you will get it. For some of us who have, diagnosis of our child, one thing or the other, you're always afraid. You're always scared. Can this child do it? Are we able to actually get the child to, move? Are we able to, I've had, a personal experience myself. But you find out that when you keep limiting the child stays limited. So you need to find a way. And, very, very instructive. She said, I now to volunteer at the Coach Ebuka's camp. And shout out to you, Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth. And she said, I didn't know that that's how much work. So for those of us who press calculator for us, just remember that you need to also come and join us and do the work. The work is hard many times. And I'm sure that when you do, one of the others came to work with me for about a few weeks. And she said, Coach, I don't get it. Is it how hard you work? I smiled. I said, with all these team members, it is hard work. So when you press calculator for us, also press the calculator of the hard work. And also remember that we have staff. Remember that we have things that we need to do. Remember that that these things cost money to run. All right. So that you would get it. And then, she also mentioned how her marriage has taken a turn. Many people come to me. Many people come to me. And most times when they come, they take this position of my husband is the problem or my wife is the problem. My response is always one person can never be the problem. And that is not to limit, that is not to limit what it is that you are going through, or to no to what did they say? Not limit. That's not the right word. That's not to make it look small what you're going through. It's just to get you to the point of understanding that the truth is we also have, right? We also have our own, challenges, our own dealings that we need to deal. We were raised with the hypo with this hypocrisy that tells us that we are better. And that hypocrisy is the thing. Our parents had it. We don't even lie to ourselves. Our parents had it. That's why they felt they were better. That's why they felt they needed to tell us they came first. That's why they felt they needed to prove something to us, which they didn't, unfortunately. So we have that, that mindset that we are always the better person. So you come, even when you come to inner circle, you come as the better person. You come as you are the better person, your children are the bad person, the bad, people. But the truth of the matter is that you have the things that you're dealing with that's affecting your child. And until you get into the yard, that's when you now begin to see it's not as if my children are, the better, they are the worst people. I also have my own problem. You now begin to see your trauma. You now begin to, it's the same thing that happens in our marriages. You don't even realize it. And Dr. Joy said, see, I have to go to conclave myself. And I remember when she asked me that, I said, go, you be with yourself first. Continue with yourself until you're done with yourself. I usually say that where to start to solve a problem is from you, not from the next person. When you focus on the next person, trust me, you will never be able to solve that problem. Thank you so much for joining us again. Somebody's asking, can someone pay instrumentally? Any payment you're making, just know that your payment must be complete by 1st of December. If you want to break it into 10, it's okay. But if it's not complete by 1st of December, you're not going to be admitted. The next admission is 1st of December 2025. So this is our latest, admission. Thank you again, Dr. Joy, for joining us this morning. All right, somebody said, Coach, this table, we were raised with hypocrisy that we're a better person. Yeah, that's what we're raised with. And if you're not conscious of that hypocrisy, you will always come to the table with I'm better than the next person. And even I see some parents who come into the they come in with this, who is this one? This coach, I am better. My children are better, doing better. Calm down, auntie. Inner circle will equalize all of us. All of us are
Yes.
struggling with something. And it is when you get into the inner circle, you will realize that all those things that become all the way down. We all have our struggles and we are here to solve our problems. Forget the next person. Forget even this my yellow face that you see on the screen. We're all coming from a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much again. Dr. Joy is sharing all the way from the UK. And if you have, a child, Dr. Joy said I entered parenting thinking that all is going to be perfect. Everything is going to work. But how do you determine, all that? How do you determine the mountain you're going to meet? So instead of always trying to remove the mountain, learn to climb it. Until you climb the mountain, that's when you can stop for the mountain. If you don't climb it, you will always be struggling to remove a mountain. It's always very hard. And there is no mountain everywhere, anywhere. Like Bishop David Oyedepo will say, the only mountain is your lack of knowledge. My
Absolutely.
people perish for lack of knowledge. The Bible says that that there is a way to the city, and it will weary you when you don't know the way. So it's like the way of a foolish man wearieth every single one of them, because they will not know, right, when you get to the city. And shout out to you, Mr. Remy Deniji. Said the man will always join when they see testimonials in their wives. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being here. All right, so Dr. Joy, share with us. What would be your top 3 webinars? You have listened to webinars, so I don't even know where you will start. Dr. Joy is one of those people that chronicles books. I'm even afraid of this question. I don't want to ask her for only one. I'm going to try. So, Dr.
Hey,
Joy, share with us what are the top 3 webinars and why so?
hey, webinar. God help us.
Mhm.
Okay. So one of the things I would say, all the intentional parenting journeys will be will be like top, because this one is not is coming from what people have executed and now giving out back their results. So they've really inspired me. Shout out to everyone who has shared their intentional parenting journeys from when we began. Thank you. I would say building executive functioning skills has really um, changed the game for us. Executive functioning skills, if you're here for the first time, it's the ability to plan, execute, monitor, and control a task or tasks. So children do not just wake up and know how to do it. We have to teach them. And the webinars have really helped us to use what is available to us to help our children build executive functioning skills. Another one is seasons of life. So all the webinars have helped to remember, but seasons of life help me to understand my season, know where I am in my season. Shout out to Coach Omolola. In my season, I knew there were a lot of things that would not be possible for me to do. Say for instance, I said earlier on that I love traveling. I don't like it. I love traveling because my passion for traveling was kindled in my childhood. My dad would always take us to places, travel with us. When I started going to, um, yeah, he was always traveling. I remember some trips I went on with him. We would go to some places to spend the weekend of friends and sometimes family. We were going to church in like 2 hours away from where we lived, if not longer. But we were taught traveling skills and things like that by our dad, especially because he was the more outgoing one. My mom was more of a home person. Her business was done at home. She looked after us at home. So when I listened to that webinar, I knew that my passion would have to be tweaked a bit and my work hours will have to be adjusted because I remember I already adjusted it before um after the children came. But when I joined the inner circle, I needed to adjust it some more. So I took myself off full time job to part time job, moved it again to temp time only, and moved it again to working only when I have childcare. Because I decided to choose my hard. Parenting is hard enough. Choose your hard. So my hard was that I was going to pay the price now, so that when they are teenagers or when they're older, they'll be able to look after themselves and I will be able to pop and travel to anywhere I want to go in the world. See, coach, her children are teenagers now. And she said something at the UK conference. She said, there's nowhere in the world I want to travel to that I will not be able to travel to. Why? Because she has done the work. She chose the time to do the work. And we become who we behold. She's setting an example. And it's not just setting it blindly. We are hearing from other parents too how they had to choose their hard and do life when they have to do it so that they will not be stuck in the future. It's either I pay the time now or I pay it later on. And I've chosen to pay the time now. And thanks to the seasons of life. And the other webinar I would say is sorry, let me look for I'm trying to choose the best one. Okay. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay. There are a lot of them. So I'm going to mention them and just talk about the last one. So, who am I parenting? Help me to recognize who I'm parenting, not the child I do not have. Help Who am I
Mm.
parenting? Help me to parent the children I have. If you have children with that neurotypical, coach will tell you that at some point you may start resenting the child. If you have children that are
Yep.
neurodiverse, the resentment can be skyrocketed because there's a possibility
Yep.
of thinking, oh, if not for you, I'd have been able to do this and this and that and that. But who am I parenting helps you to humble yourself. I have two strong-willed children, and when they are doing their thing today, it takes somebody with humility and empathy to raise children with additional needs and strong-willedness. If they are
Mm.
strong and they are rational, you have to be humble. If not, you'll be frustrated. And it's very easy to raise bullies in the process because if you don't
Mm.
see their strength as something that God has put in them as their extras to be able to harness this thing and get them to be the best of who God has called them to be, you could easily start seeing them as rivals or as people that have come to put a halt on one's destiny. But I tell my children,
Mhm.
I'm very blessed to be your parent. I'm very blessed. Mommy and daddy, we love you. We I'm not sometimes my son will come and say, mommy, are you happy that you're staying at home to look after us? I say, yes, you're my first responsibility before work. You know, you're my first responsibility before work. If I do not have childcare, there's no business I have going to work. Because when I get to work, they're going to call me to cancel clinic and come and attend to my son at school. If my husband is far away, what am I going to do? So I'm the closest person to come and I'll cancel clinic. That becomes a trend of unreliability in my career. So I was like, okay, I'll only go to work when I have suitable childcare. Nobody will die. And nobody have died since that decision has been made. And my husband and I, we've been able to come to that understanding. Initially, it was not okay. It was not going to happen. But I had to keep bringing my points to like this. It's not because I love staying at home. I cannot be a doctor and just come and stay at home. It's because for this season, I understand it and I will not take it for granted. The people I'm parenting,
Mm.
they are world changers, and I need to give them that support. We need to give them that support so that they can thrive. Rest as a skill has helped me to rest. I take time to go for my swimming. I take time to do my facials. I've started squatting. Thanks to coach when she talked about squat challenge. I said, wait, squat where? Apart from the gym that she's doing. So I started squatting, and that has helped me. I had to research about it, like the benefits of it and many things. It's amazing that coach is helping us to not just support our children, but support ourselves first, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. Because when coach say I have the gift of perspective, me too, I say I have the big gift of perspective because I cannot be following lion and become a goat. You know, I become who I'm following. And truly, since I joined the inner circle, the way I reason about things have changed. I try to put
Mm.
myself in the other person's shoes. The way I listen to the scripture, the way I read the scripture has changed. The way I show my husband empathy has changed. The way I show my children empathy have changed. When people say no to me, it's not a trigger anymore. It's an
Mm.
opportunity. I give them the permission to be themselves. Do I prefer someone that pretends to me, or do I prefer somebody that is real with me? You know,
Mm.
and these the webinars are just amazing. Rest as skill was Coach Etima. When she said that, it was as if she was saying the story of my life.
Mm.
Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. But after rest as a skill, you will just hear the webinar. When you're not resting, you will hear the webinar playing back in your head. You need to rest. You hear Coach Wendy's voices when you were trying to shout. You will just hear the voice, auntie, auntie, be calming down. Another I know I've mentioned it, I've talked about three and even more. Well, those are the main ones. Let me stop here.
You know, I told you guys earlier that when you see the others that have been there, the webinars are never enough,
Mhm.
for them to actually, do all of that and all of that and continue going through the webinars. The webinars are, as far as I'm concerned, life transforming. Sometimes you listen to a webinar, you sit down and you review what you have done over the years, right? And Mr. Zoka is saying, what challenge will fathers, will yadas recommend for yadas fathers now? This one that women are now doing squatting. You guys are not serious. you know, and that's a very key thing about the webinars. The webinars shine lights on different aspects of your life. Somebody reached out to me and said, I'm in my 50s, the yada. And he said, I heard you talk about drinking Coke, eating puff puff. Coach, it sounded like something you just chipped in when you were talking. But I thought of it. I'm over 40, I'm drinking Coke and eating meat pie. He said that was it for me. And shout out to UK others. The menu that they gave me was menu fit for the fitness, that kind of thing. Nkonye, shout out to you. Honestly, it was, so on point. I was like, this UK ad they listing, Sha. You guys are just awesome. The menu was just every time that I just see them, I was like, these guys actually are just, listening in between the line kind of thing. That's it. And he said, I listened to that thing and it changed my life. I changed my diet. I took out Coke. Yeah, on Saturday, we're listening to Coach Chinda. He called it radical responsibility.
Mhm.
He said, I took a radical responsibility in my life and cut out carbs from February to now and then put off my pot belly. I remember the day I yabbed Yada fathers with pot belly. Chai. No, don't be scared. Don't worry. When you come, you just receive your own bullet. You take it and then you shield it. It was Dr. Edu that said, Coach, you know that you have been giving me bullets, even when bullet was not coming to everybody. Because I used to have a one-on-one session with him a lot. And then when he finished, I said, do you want to hear the truth? And then he looks at me. He said, from the screen, he would just say, okay, ma. And then I'll give him back. He would just say, okay. So he said, the bullet now, I just receive it in peace. And I take it gladly and I go back to work. It doesn't hit me in the manner of why did she now tell me not to do it this way? He said, and I receive it like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to do it, right? Okay, let me go and do my homework. All right. Thank you so much for being here. And we say something about in the inner circle. There's no anyhowness. You don't get it in the inner circle. You're just doing anyhow. Your life is anyhow. And all of that. You just do things. I don't care. I don't do it. It doesn't matter. It does matter. It really does matter because your life really does matter. If you do not take care of yourself, if you do not take care of yourself, you will die and your children. And when I mean die, it's not physical death. All right. When I mean die, it's not physical death. And like, and the truth of the matter is, like Ugonwa said, if you come to me, one of the first and one-on-one, I usually will ask you, please, I hope you're ready for the truth because I'm not going to paint it. All right. And most times it hits you. You go back, but you always be grateful for it eventually. I'm not your friend. So I'm not here to romanticize you or tell you, that what you're doing is very good. No, because I'm not your friend. I'm bold enough to tell you that what you're doing is not okay. So it makes it really easy. The worst thing you can do is that you can get angry, not talk to me for a while. Some others have done it. After a while, they will say, Coach, that thing you said was very true. And it's fine. It's also okay. Right? And like I often say, I'm a leader, I'm not ice cream. There are times you will not like me, and it's
Yeah.
fine. So if you're coming into the inner circle, you're feeling that I'm going to be all chummy, all nice all the time. There are days that, I will finish, you'll be like, what is it there? Yeah, you will get to that point, and it's very okay. Very, very okay. Because we understand that in the process of your transformation, you're not here as my friend. You're not here as my sister. I have my sister, relatives, friends who are in the inner circle. When you get into the inner circle, I do not know you inside there. I do not know you. You're just here. It is coaching, it's not friendship. So in case you are my friend who is coming into the inner circle, news flash. Inside the inner circle, I am not your friend. Please take note of it that we do not fight. I'm not your friend. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining us. And I love how Dr. Joyce said it. Dr. Joyce said, "Parent the child you have." That's something I always say. Parent the child you have, not the one you want to have, not the one you wish to have, not the one you pray to have. If you want, you will just resent, your children. If you want to parent the child that another person has. You come into the inner circle, you will see all sorts of people that their children have gone far, they are doing this, they are writing book, they are doing that, and then children that you will think that we've not reached anywhere, is a lie. All of us are in the different journey. The child you have is different from the child the next person has. And I'm sure, true to my word, I'm sure you've not seen any book now produced by any of my children. So it's not competition. Don't compete with anybody. When I see a yada that the children have written book, done things, I'm excited for you. Trust me, I am. But I'm not pressured. Me like this, no pressure at all. I know where it is that my own focus is, and I'm focusing on my focus, and my
Mhm.
result is tangible in that area. So yes, keep going. So if you are a new yada, just come in with the mindset that you're coming to parent the child you have, not the one you wish to have, not the one you pray to have, not the one you fast to have, the one you have already. Thank you so much, Dr. Joy Emmanuel, for being here. And so talk to us. Some people are listening to you now and they're wondering this inner circle. I heard Dr. Joy said, I had to move my work, days. I had to move my work systems. Inner circle parents have gotten to the point where they begin to think, how do we get our life, our family lives to actually work? I was listening to the doctors and they're saying, see, we want to move away from a place. We want to relocate because, and there are reasons, people now begin to relocate with the mindset of, this is why we are. They now
Mhm.
understand it. They just wake up and go. You don't even know what you're doing. You just up and go. And they say, this is why. And when I was listening to their reasons, I was like, wow, wow. Inner circle will make you think about the environment, think about the changes you need to apply, think about the things you need to do, think about your life in the moment. It's not your life, it's not because your friend who has children who are 19 have gone ahead. And it is not competition. I've not gone ahead. I'm here. Let me stay where I am. All right. So, Dr. Joy, someone is listening to you now and saying, it's difficult in diaspora, and then you have, children who are autistic, and then how are you managing? How is the inner circle even something that I need? Why do I need the inner circle? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Coach, again. It is being in the inner circle, it's something you have to be convinced about. And thank God for these parenting journeys that is going on. So it's a system where you want to immerse yourself fully and apply the instructions. There are some of them you will not understand, trust me,
Hmm.
but you just keep going. So there's something that we learned in the inner circle. My children, they learn differently. So I've had to put systems in place to help them learn the way they learn. My son started reading and writing or scribbling when he was 3. So let me not say fully reading when he was 3. When he started scribbling when he was 3. And now my daughter is doing more of that now that she's 5. So there may be a delay, but slowly but surely she's getting there. The systems that have been put in place in the inner circle help out help us parent the hand, the heart, the hand of the child, the heart of the child, and their
The head.
what's the head, yes.
The head.
So
Head.
the head, yeah, those three parts of our children, they need to be, you know, they are looked out for, they are looked after, they are catered for in the ways the tools have been programmed and structured. So if you do not have structure or family value in your house, one of the things the inner circle will help you do, they'll teach us how to go about writing them down, how to use Canva to design them, and how frame them and put them in your living room. That's one of the assignments we do. So that as you look at the family values we are beholding, then the conversation of do you not know who the child of whom you are, that will not come up again because it will be clearly stated on the wall as they are passing by. They are seeing it. I went to my accountability partner's house, one of them in Birmingham, and I saw something in her kitchen, and it says, "When you feel like quitting, remember why you started." I didn't have this conversation with her, but it just stuck in my head. She did not put it there for me to see. It's for her family. So imagine every day when her children go into her kitchen, they see that. Remember why you started. Even it's something to remember. In my house, you see papers everywhere, scriptures, one encouragement from, and most of the things are from webinars, from what we're learning, from things we end up buying, that they're words. We fill our minds with words. And there are things you should, our children should expect from us, the things that we can give to them. being in with being in TIP has helped me to their experiences, the right parenting, the right exposure. So those things, that things you will learn. The kind of courses we hear, I don't know if you get it anywhere else, but the way they do it here, they do all the work and they just give you take, go and run with it. Why do I need to stress myself? Who does not like a table that is prepared for him or her? I like buffet. They give you buffet. Take what you like, eat and run, chew, extract, run. And one of the causes is healing from childhood trauma, love your child more, sex educate like a pro, learning styles, those things, like they understanding how your child learns. When I joined the inner circle, I had to be willing to be flexible with the school our children go to. So one of it was that I don't see the teachers as my rival. I see them as my partners. I see them as my collaborators. That's one of the things we learn here. You Who are your collaborators? When the chips are down, who is there supporting you and your family? Which other person can or structure can your children rely on? So being in that circle has helped me recognize who my collaborators are in my children's schools, in their clubs, in their church, in their neighborhood, their friends, their parents, their friends' parents, things like that. So you know how to channel your energy in raising a whole child. So you're not coming here to join a WhatsApp group. You're coming here to to become the better you. No matter how good you are, there is a place called better. There is a place where we can raise leaders by
Hmm.
showing them what how to think, not what to do. Raising children who think on their feet. There was an illustration I I heard in the inner circle, and I explained it to my son. Like, if mommy say you should cross the road and a car is coming, do you have to cross? You say no, I'll wait and make sure it's safe for me to cross. Because we have rehearsed it, we have talked about it. So it's not about giving instructions. We're not raising zombies. We're raising children that can think. There was a time I actually told my son, let's cross, but he stayed back because he was not he wasn't sure he was safe enough to cross, even though I was crossing as well. So it is a mindset um shifter. Being in inner circle is a mindset shifter. It's a transformational place where you want to come with an open mind to learn, to unlearn first, relearn, to unlearn, relearn, and apply. There's so much to apply when you come in here. And I tell people, coach, it is not the inner circle is an arc. But when Noah was told to build the ark, it was not going to contain the whole world. It was not going to contain everybody. And we keep wondering what happened to the other animals that did not come to the ark. I want to believe that God gave every one of them equal opportunity. But those people who chose to come chose. I'm not sure how it happened, but some people heard that there was going to be a flood, but they didn't believe and they didn't come in. So being in the inner circle is like coming to an ark of safety. Everyone will hear the word, but not everybody will come, and it's okay. To be honest, the groups cannot take everybody.
Hmm.
Some people will still have to go and listen to your YouTube Netflix, because we have the parenting Netflix. The YouTube channel has lots of parenting resources, and that's what they're going to use until they are convinced that they need to come into the app. It's not You have to come with your clear eyes. You have to come ready to do the work. It's not something that somebody will beg you to come. It's You may beg and beg. We may talk and talk all we can. If you're not convinced in your spirit to be here, you're not going to be here. But if you know God has told you to come here and learn. Come here and be refined in the process. And you're not you're not going to be there and looking. You're going to be there and making conscious effort to make progress. I'm going to say the ark is open from now to 1st of December. It's up to us to choose if we are the ones God has given the mandate to enter or wait till next year. And if you choose that you want to wait till next year, it's still all going to be fine because you're going to have the books to read, you're going to have Tuesday lives. We're not going to hush you or rush you, we're going to let you go at your time. Because coach will say, some people will say, oh, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you? I'm like, we've been saying it since now. Right? That's some we cannot pull them. We can take them to the water, but we can't force them to drink. That's just the truth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joy Emmanuel. And this has been an amazing, amazing session. Dr. Joy Emmanuel has shared a lot about her journey. And, I like the way she said it. What happened to those people who didn't enter the ark? Well, Noah was shouting, flood in Abia, flood in Abia. And the people who didn't enter, didn't enter. So this is all shouting flood in Abia, right? And then you enter. And then it's not like when you get into the ark, you will do nothing. No, you will not. There's a lot for you to do. But the good thing is that you can go at your pace. And at your pace, but you can actually do what is right. You can collect what is yours per time. You can collect what is yours per time and you will run with it. Shout out again to Dr. Joy Emmanuel. Dr. Joy Emmanuel is part of the amazing committee in the UK that hosted the very first annual TIP Summit United Kingdom. And as I speak, we already have a date for TIP Summit United Kingdom 2025. In fact, they just said, Coach, I didn't even know. They just said, Coach, I already said I'm not going to any country that have gone before the next year. We'll do 2 years after. They said, Coach, I beg, please. Your calendar is marked and booked. We have told your PA. I was like, hey, inside me like this, they've already marked my calendar. I didn't know that calendar was already marked. So shout out to you guys. See you again, of course, October 25th, 2025. I can't even wait. And it is really, really exciting. And we're already there. We already finished being there. And Dr. Joy Emmanuel and her team, Dr. Yemisi, Dr. Tem, okay, like Saul of Nana, Dr. Ba, Nkoye, and all of that better. There are a lot of them. You have Debbie that just, it was like a
Yeah, I think coach is frozen now. I should be back in a minute. Can you hear me? Okay. Guess I'll just go ahead and keep talking. Oh, our fellow Able Augustine is here. Can you hear
Okay,
us?
please go ahead, ma'am. I guess coach is frozen. She will join up to
Okay.
conclude the session.
Lovely. So I'm gonna say for those who still asking, should I join? Should I not join? The truth is that, as one of our elders said, there's no price that is too much for our becoming. So TIP cannot contain everybody. Choose to be here. Make up your mind to be accountable. Come and learn better ways to raise systems
so,
and structures
so sorry
that will help
about
you.
that. It is you people's
Welcome back.
network. Oh, thank you very much.
There it goes.
All right. Thank you so much again. Like I said, I'm sure that I didn't mention everybody, but of course, shout out to all of you, Dr. Nem, Dr. Edude. It's a whole army, a whole army. We have Madam Ijoma, we have, but just, so much. In fact, Madam Ijoma, her husband was there, and her husband is not even a yada yet. He's just coming in. Incoming yada that was in the forefront.
Yes,
I came in when I the space. I saw Mr. Lushola commanding traffic, and I was like, this year that's happening. It was just amazing. I am really, really looking forward, right, to another year, and I'm looking forward to having you in the arc. And I saw Reina. Reina's parents were at the TIP summit in Lagos. She sent her parents there. I saw her, right in there. And Mr. Chomo Dukolo. It was just amazing. Shout out to all of you again, and again. So thank you again, Dr. Joy Emmanuel. If you're not in the inner circle, one thing I'm going to tell you today is it's our job to publicize the thing that is good, but it's not our job to force you in. Like Dr. Joy said, we're going to stay up, talk about it. Just like Noah was shouting, flood is coming, flood is coming. So people were like, what are you talking about? I beg you, make I just hear what? What are they saying? What's this girl going to just tell us, right? But eventually it came. And we were there. I was teaching at the UK summit, and I said, well, where we are now, we are actually in the second generation of slavery, and then we don't even know about it, but it is what it is, and we're not even recognizing that that's what is happening to us, because everybody just moving, going on their way, and just doing what it is that they want to do, and all of the things that we're doing. All right. I was sitting with Charity that was, and she was having conversations with me, and that's one of the UK others, and we were talking about it, and you don't just get it, you don't just understand it until it actually really happens in your faces, and it's just really it's just really really amazing. So if you are in the UK, you didn't come for the summit, you missed a time of your life. Trust me when I say so. UK others will tell you. You missed a time of your life, right? And of course, Dr. Joy, it is such a pleasure to see you. I met the others, it was as if I had met them before. Like, we've been meeting somehow, we just know ourselves, right? Apart from Debbie that I had met once, I don't think I had met any other person before now, but
Yeah.
it was just amazing, palpable. Connection was just so good, and we enjoyed it. Come into a community that helps you. Come into a community that actually gives you insight. Dr. Joy, what would be your last words as we
I
end
was
up,
waiting for that.
on this session today?
I was waiting for that last one. Okay, I'm gonna say, yeah, apart from the loads of appreciation I'm gonna share here, Coach, I want to say a very big thank you to you and the team for all you do out of your comfort zone. It's amazing how you do what you do in the ways you do it with so much energy, so much empathy, and you're just you just immerse yourself into the work that you do, and you're also helping us to exert ourselves to bring out the best in us and our children. One thing I'd like to say is that having put in all this work in whichever way you're putting in the work to support your children, your family, or your child, it's going to be cheating for you not to have expectations of them. Like, what are your expectations for the children? If the expectations are not met, we're allowed to review the systems, review the structure we have put in place. And that's where the inner circle is here to help us refine those structures and make sure that our children scale through. And it's the same way we hold schools and clubs accountable. We should hold our family systems accountable for measurable progress. I started going for parenting conferences when I was a teenager. The first ever one I attended as a teenager, I had to tie wrapper and wear wedge shoe to make me look older because it was meant to be parents, teachers, and people to attend, and well, older children were meant to attend as well. So I went there from all the way from Ikeja to like Agege. I don't know if you know Lagos very well for that conference. And one of the things they said in that conference. Children are not things for us to mold. They are people given to us to okay, no, that's what coach said. They are people given to us to unfold, as coach rightly said. Then the thing that happened in that conference was that they gave us a sticker. One of the sticker says, if you think education is expensive, try illiteracy. I put that sticker on my father's. When I got home, I gave it to my dad. I showed my dad. He put it on the divider in the room, and we kept looking at it. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance or try illiteracy. So being in the inner circle helps you to, just debunk all those ideologies that are limiting, that bring out, that make people raise mediocres, and help you put in the right system, right structures, and information to raise kings. We're here to raise kings. We're here to raise the new you, by your we're
Hmm.
evolving to become who God has made us to be. First, let us be the people that our children will be proud of. We're not just going to be proud of our children. Let our children be proud of us. How do we want to get that to happen? Be in the right systems. Systems have helped me. The right systems have helped me, and I believe that it can help you also. And you can recommend it to family and friends, the people in your sphere of influence, so that they will not kind of pull down or destroy what you are building. It's very easy to destroy a mansion or a skyscraper, but to build it can go on for years. So we have put in years of hard work. Let's get our the people around us to also be a part of what God is doing in TIP, and also believe in the system, believe in the structure, and watch yourself evolve. Dare to dream, dare to dream. That's what has I know has evolved in me. I dare to dream now. For the first time, I drove 6 hours in my life altogether. In my over 40 years of life living, drove 6 hours because I dared to push myself. Before I joined the inner circle, the highest I would drive, the longest I'll drive or farthest would be 15 minutes. And joining the inner circle, your brain just opens up, your mindset just shifts. You just want to keep moving, keep making progress. When you're not making progress, you know it and you evaluate yourself and just keep moving. So this is the place to be. I encourage you to get the resources you need to be here, and be here with your clear mind, ready to do the work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joy Emmanuel. I'm going to let you go now. This has been an awesome session. There's so much to pick in this journey. There's so much to learn. There's so much to actually take home. And I pray that you are able to take it and you're able to run with it. Be in the right system. Those were her last words. Thank you again. You know, I love you. I honor you. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate your time. I do not take it for granted. And thank you for being part of the people who run the academy systems with us. I really do appreciate you. All righty. So, yes, this is where we come to the end of my intentional parenting journey today with Dr. Joy Emmanuel. We're streaming live all the way from United Kingdom. And yes, Dr. Joy Emmanuel had shared her journey. One thing that she said was be in the right system. And she said, I came into the UK, and one of the things that happened to me was that I wasn't in the right system. I was not afraid to actually find the right system. Be in the right system. And the inner circle is one of your rightest, your rightest system. You know, somebody asked you a question in the comment section. I think the person said, which one is the yada? Is it different? Is it a different session with coaches? Being a yada is being in the yard. All right. So being a yada is actually that you are a member of the inner circle system. That's what being a yada is. Being a yada is a lifestyle, is a thing, is a thing. Place where we recognize it's not just a yada. You know, it's just I'm in the inner circle. No, it is a thing to be a yada. There's a transformation that comes with it. You know, I like that story that where an inner circle parent said, I was in a place and I saw someone just bringing up puzzle doing things. And I was like, who is that yada that just entered here? That's what being a yada is. We just come out and you just notice that this person, all right, there's something yada. Thank you. Shout out to you, Dr. Joy Emmanuel. See you again tomorrow. And of course, if you're in the UK, that happened to me this morning. The time has changed. Well, you are now 1 hour behind, so that you can also remember to adjust it to our timing. Thank you so much for being here, and have an amazing, amazing day. Don't forget, the inner circle registration ends on the 30th of next month. So it's just 30 days. So about 30 days to go, right? 32 days or so, thereabout to go. If you miss it, you miss being in the ark. Don't forget Flood Nabia in the voice of Coach Ebuka. Have an amazing day, everyone, and see you right in